Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. It's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Oh, welcome back. And I can't believe it. This is a 6-month anniversary of our first show.
Wow.
So we made it this far.
What is the 6-month anniversary gift material?
Do
we know?
I think it's back pressure regulators.
Okay. Oh, it could be.
We had some good questions this week, and I think they're really, really good questions. So hopefully it won't bomb. Once again, we got our YouTube chat set up, so if you have any questions about what we're talking about or anything else, you can just type them in there, and hopefully we'll get to answer them. First question is on back pressure regulators. It says, what are back pressure regulators, and why would I need one?
Great question. So a back pressure regulator is, it sort of implies in the name, it helps to keep back pressure from forming in typically a storage unit of some sort or a process gas where you want the pressure to never go above a certain amount. So our 6342A is I'm holding the wrong one. Our 6342A, this is the one, is our model number for a back pressure regulator. It goes from 0 to 100 psi. And we also use one on our economizers for switchovers, which is for a doer only, and instead of offing the gas into the air, this will help, at 230, this will relieve it at 220 and allow it to be, the gas off the doer to be used instead of off-gassing it into the atmosphere. So, and as you can see, this looks very similar to a regular pressure regulator. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what's the difference? And I even brought a regular pressure regulator here to show you how similar they look. One thing you'll notice is that this only has two inlet and outlets, and this one has 2 inlets and 2 outlets total. So this one has 1 inlet and 1 outlet. Did I say 2?
Yeah.
I think I misspoke.
2 ports.
2 ports. This is 4 ports. Yeah. There we go. So, and on the internals, they look very similar. You might be thinking to yourself, can I just put a regulator in backwards and it can act like a pressure regulator? And no, you cannot. So a pressure regulator, what makes this thing really good is that it acts sort of as both a pressure regulator and a relief valve. So it's similar to a relief valve in that it will, when pressure gets too high, it will let the gas flow out. But unlike a relief valve, it won't open and shut, open and shut. This can leave a continuous stream of pressure to let it come down quickly. And then the reason why you can't just turn a regulator around and use it the other way is because gas will flow through a regulator back through if the pressure is higher on the outlet side than the inlet side. So it'll flow back through. It doesn't shut anything off. So you'll just get continuous flow out there. That's why on our switchovers we have to put a check valve CGA fitting on the outlet or the inlet to the hose so that gas doesn't flow back into the other cylinder. So these things, these things are used. They're really good. So they're continuous flow to come out. This is going to be used for flammable gases. It also has a bonnet vent port just in case it could overpressure, but. My guess is that would be a rare thing because typically this is for lower pressure cylinders.
I mean, the idea being is that the bonnet can't hold high pressures, so you have to be able to vent the bonnet. And
especially if you have a flammable gas or something, you don't want doing it. So these things are really helpful. So.
Okay, good. Now, the next one I'm going to handle, and this is kind of funny. I had this question. I was going out of the office one day, and somebody in customer service was asking me because somebody was looking at our pressure regulators online, and it's a little confusing. If you want to get a no-lube option on a pressure regulator, you have to say yes, you want a no-lube. So it just seems kind of.
What are some of the reasons someone would want a no-lube though?
Well, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So now, sorry, I have to get all my props set up for this.
Should have brought some lube.
No, it's not. I could have, but now when we make stainless steel pipe thread assemblies, we use a small amount of trifluoroethylene. I can't even read if it's written down. It's such a big word.
You don't have that memorized?
No, I don't have it memorized. If you're doing a regular a
brass with that word.
Yeah, I know. That's a very good Scrabble word. It probably wouldn't even fit on the board. But stainless steel pipe thread fittings are prone to galling. And what galling is it's some people can call it like cold welding, that you can get friction between on stainless steel pipe threads such that it'll, they can call it the cohesive adhesion. So it'll like weld itself in there, and then you're stuck and you can't take it out. You'll have to, yeah, you're pretty much got a boat anchor, or if it's lighter, a paperweight. Now, what we use is we put Teflon tape on all our pipe thread connections. With stainless steel connections, we use that polychloroethylene, and you just use just a little bit on, just a little dab on there. A
little dab will do you.
And it'll ease up, it'll make it so you can put it together without galling. Now, some places, if you have some gas detection, if you're doing like a ECD, mass spec, or atomic emission detection, and you're looking at sub ppm levels, that little bit amount of lubricant on there can mess it up, and that's all. So that's very specific application. So you really shouldn't get a no-lube regulator unless you really need one. I kind of explain why, because you can, with the no-lube regulators, it gives us a higher chance of galling. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a regulator here that was a no-lube regulator, and the person assembling it has, it's probably a little embarrassed that it galled, but it's, when you're installing the fittings, she put the valve in, and I guess it would really be this way, and you're tightening it in, and you get a feel on how you do it. And with valves, it has to be directional, so if it's not tight enough, you have to do a whole full turn. And she was like, yeah, I don't know about this one. And she turned it in, and it seized halfway through. So I'm going to show how easy it is. And I didn't even practice on this.
So this one was done because it was tightened down too much?
This is one they wanted a no-lube regulator.
No, yes.
So you needed to, well, it wasn't tight enough when the valve handle was in front.
Yes.
So they had to give an extra turn. And that's kind of the difficulties. I'm taking some Teflon tape, and I'm just going around.
I guess I think of galling as it's not put in straight; it's a little bit off, and
it's just the pipe thread fittings will match in. That's good though. It's you can gall it if it's crooked, but it really can't because it's a tapered thread and it'll seal in there. Okay. So I just put a little bit of Teflon tape. I'm going to see if I can gall this thing up.
Wow.
So and
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Don't worry, I got another one to try here too. So the other thing is when you're putting in pressure gauges, you have to have them oriented to the front too.
Mm-hmm. No good if you can't see what the pressure is.
So here I have to turn it another turn. Great, we have fixtures to put this in. We don't do them all by hand. So I probably should have brought a fixture in on this one. So. I thought it would gall earlier than that, but this one I don't think is galling. But I'm going to try to, and one of the problems is that's not going to gall.
What if you use no Teflon tape? Is there a higher chance of galling?
Yes, it is.
So why don't we do that?
That's what we're trying. I thought I was going to seize it up the first time. Now, one of the problems though with the no-lube assemblies is we could make the regulator and we leak test it, helium leak test them. And then if you have a problem with the gauge or a fitting and you want to replace it, it might gall when you're taking the gauge out. So, I don't even know how to be able to.
Like, how do you know if it's galled? Does it make a noise?
Oh, you can tell. It's just not going to seize anymore. Boy, I'll tell you. I really should have brought that fixture on there. We're going to see if you can tighten it in a little bit more. So we might not even be able to gall it here even if we tried.
Let's get a little bit longer of a.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't fit on there very well. No, you got it pretty well. I put cream on my hands before I did this. And it is definitely slipping.
Well, it looks like we're not going to be able to gall it on camera here because we should have had the holder here to get you a little more torque in there. Because you can see it's not even in
Big old cheater pipe too.
Yeah,
really
something like that. Yeah, we didn't have that. That happens. But if you're doing a pipe thread fitting, it doesn't think, oh yeah, I'll use some WD-40 or 3-in-1 oil. No. That's not. You have to use a special oxygen-compatible lubricant that helps prevent galling.
Yeah, the oxygen compatible is the big thing. Do not use grease. I mean, don't use oil or grease on these things.
Yeah,
just don't.
Oh, no, it didn't go on me, man.
I don't know why, but when I was young, we had a teacher that told us a story about the time he used grease to loosen up a valve on I think, acetylene tank.
Oh boy, yeah.
He didn't know at the time. He was a young, and he tells that, and that story stuck with me to this day that I will never use grease on that.
Okay. Oh, then the next one we're going to get into. We're going to get a graphic. Is about cabinets, and we wanted to bring them on camera, but we tried that out, and it just didn't work.
The studio is smaller. It looks big on the camera, but it's smaller than it really is.
It just didn't work. So we're going to pop up some graphics on the screen, show you the cabinets. Now, someone had a question. We get these good. I got a thumbs up, so hopefully it's up on the screen. We get these questions every now and then. People are used to, the yellow cabinet on the screen is what's called a fire-rated cabinet. And that's used to store like paints and flammable solvents and other things that could help feed a fire if there's a fire. The idea is if there's a fire in your building, these things are protected from the fire. And there's different fire ratings on there, an hour fire rating. I don't really know all the different fire ratings. So those are sealed up. So you have it, and it's pretty much all sealed up. Now the cabinets we sell, the grayish one on there, that's a 1170F series cabinet. And this is actually, whereas the flammable fire-rated cabinet is set up to protect the inside from things happening on the outside. Our cabinets are to protect people on the outside from things happening on the inside. And use our gas cabinets for toxic and corrosive. You can also use them for flammables. Some people use them for inerts. I don't know why. They just like having them stored in there.
Well, if you have 3 cabinets in a row and then a cylinder, it's going to look weird. Yeah, so you get that one in a cabinet as well.
Fine. But they're set up to have, if you look at the bottom, that's a inlet louver. So the idea being that you put this on an exhaust system. You have air coming in the bottom. It goes out the suction in the stack and top. And if there's a corrosive gas leak or something, you got negative pressure in the cabinet, so it doesn't come out because it's a negative pressure situation.
Now, if there were a fire, that will suck the fire into the...
But you can buy...
Yes.
We have a solution to that. That's a good thing to bring up. We have what's called we call it a fusible link, and it's like a little guillotine, so if it gets hot in the cabinet, it melts and the guillotine drops and shuts off the airflow coming in if it gets hot enough.
Yes.
So yeah, so we cannot. A lot of people get confused because they're used to probably these flammable storage cabinets are more common than a gas cabinet. So they're kind of used to the cabinet have to be fire rated, and customers will get really insistent on that, and we have to take some time to explain them about no. This is a totally different thing. Yes, it's a cabinet, it holds stuff, but it's to protect.
Hear me out, Bill. What if you put one cabinet inside the other cabinet?
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that? Okay. Okay. I mean, because you have the best of both worlds?
No, you don't.
Exactly.
It's not the best of both worlds.
Okay. All right.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
So you need the airflow. So it just won't work. So I'm sorry I didn't seize the pipe thread fitting on here. Yeah, maybe I'll try it another time. Thanks for tuning in. Now we got... you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll get click the bell. You get notifications on this and new videos coming up. So that's all we have for this week. Please tune in again next week for another episode of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.